What's going on, YouTube? I hope you're having a fantastic day today. I am so excited to share with you the first episode of a multi-episode series designed to help you get better at Apex Legends. I am by no means a pro player, but I think I am an above average player, and I am here to provide that very exact perspective to help you get better at your game. I often play the game queuing in solo trios, and nearly every game I see simple mistakes people make that matter so much to you performing better in game. Some of the things we're going to discuss in these episodes are gunplay, choosing the right weapons, attachments, how to know when to push, how to know when to play more passive. We'll analyze different landing spots for loot runs and get really technical with it to give you guys the best opportunity to win these games. We're going to talk about different legends and maybe what legend might fit your playstyle the best. But honestly, guys, the first thing we need to discuss is how to drop, flying tips, and how to choose the proper landing spot. As crazy as it seems, this is one of the most important things for you to get right each game because it is the very first thing you're doing in each game. If you don't choose a right landing spot, it could set you up for failure and you might not even realize. There are many times where I see people jumping late, choosing poor landing spots, or their flying techniques just plain suck. So if this is something you want to see more of, make sure to like the video because it does help the videos get noticed. And also subscribe to the channel. I post Apex Legends videos every couple of days, and I would love to have you come back and engage with me. And also finally, drop a comment below and let me know if there's a particular part of this video you think I should do first. So without further ado, now that the intro is over, let's get into part 1 of how to get better at Apex Legends, dropping, flying, and choosing a landing spot. So you just started a new game, and for this instance we are going to say that you're the jump master, but let's quickly go over what to do if you're not the jump master. So you can see on screen, I'm looking at the map as fast as possible and choosing a spot to mark for my teammates. You'll also notice that I broke off from my teammates because I wasn't sure what they were going to do. So you can also do this where you break off because if you're not sure what they're going to do, and then you can wait to see what they do. So I mark the map right away, and then I see that they're saying okay. That's a good sign to me. That means that they're being communicative and they might understand what I want to do. And as soon as they say okay, I drop and I start going towards Slum Lakes here. So now let's get back to where if you were the jump master. Being the jump master means you get to choose the optimal landing spot for your team. And in order to choose the optimal landing spot, there's a few things that you should break down in your head at the beginning of every game. The first thing to know is that the bus path will absolutely dictate where you're going to land. There's some games that landing in your favorite spot might not be the best idea. So what is the best choice for choosing a landing spot to win more games? Do you want to land high and go for more kills, or do you want to land far and loot more? My answer is relatively simple, and it's that neither of these are the right solution, and you should be picking somewhere in between a far landing spot and a hot drop landing spot. There is a scenario where all three of these are beneficial, so let's break it down using this example. So option 1 is the safest option, but the least effective at getting better at Apex. This is to choose a landing spot far away from enemies and far away from the bus path. Most people would do this because they want a better chance at winning the game, but really this is just hurting you in the long run. This will allow you to loot up, but it'll prevent you from getting experience where it matters in gunfights. If you spend 20 minutes in a game, but 15 minutes of that game are looting, you might be getting a bit of experience learning the map, but you are not gaining experience where it matters in gunfights. The more gunfights you have, the better you will get. So this leads us into option 2, which is to land hot. Generally, this means to land within the first few seconds of the bus path, but this could also mean to land somewhere where you know there's going to be a lot of people. Since the removal of Skulltown at Season 5, Salvage to Gauntlet has been extremely hot. There's been a lot of players going there, and that's where we're going this game that you see on screen. So when you do land hot, this basically means you have a 50-50 chance of winning. This is because you and basically everyone else has the same chance at getting a good shield or a decent weapon. You really have no control over what you're going to be dropping on, and if you don't get a good weapon, there's a good chance you're going to die. Of course, there is the chance you'll get a purple shield and an R99 with a purple mag, but this is rare, and our goal of this video is to help you win games. So don't get me wrong, dropping hot is effective to build skills, and it should be done from time to time. Dropping hot will build your skills to loot fast in an early game, and it will build skills to prioritize what you need in an early game fight, and we will break down this method in a future video, but let me know in the comments if you'd like to see this sooner than later. So now we get into option 3, which is to pick somewhere to land that is neither hot or too far away. This, in my opinion, is the best way for you to build your skills because this will give you a little bit longer to loot, but hopefully not too long. And when you do get into your first gunfight, which should be sooner than if you are landing really far away, you will have some better loot than you were if you were landing in a hot drop. To accomplish this, I like to pick a landing spot that is slightly off the dropship's path, but also in the middle or just after the middle of the dropship's total length of flying. There are always going to be scenarios where it's hard to pick an optimal landing spot like this, and in that case, I would always err on the side of caution and go a little bit farther away than landing too hot. So now that you've picked your landing spot and it's time to fly, there is no 100% correct answer on how to fly, but I will share with you what I do, and I find that this works pretty well. Right when jumping out of the ship, I usually point my character straight down, and by doing this, this gets me to the max speed as fast as possible. And as soon as this happens, I start to pull my character up and fly and level off towards where my objective is. And I keep flying at that angle until my speed hits around 130 to 135. And at this time, I will then again point my character downwards and then level off once my speed hits up to like 145. And this is really it. I keep doing this until I get across the map. And if you're doing this, you honestly should be able to traverse the entire map with no problem. So if your landing spot is relatively close to the line of the dropship, you can use the 45 method. Basically, to achieve this, you want to drop as early as you can, but you want to keep your drop angle at a 45-degree angle to the objective. Basically, by doing this, you'll keep your speed steady in the high 140s and it won't drop at all. Doing this, it'll get you across the map as fast as possible and as efficiently as possible. Again, this really only works if your jump spot is close to the line of the dropship. This, in my opinion, is the fastest way to get down to an objective. Now, it wouldn't be a how to drop video if we didn't talk a little bit about some general advice I can give about making contact with the ground. For starters, it is almost always more beneficial to look around when you are dropping. You want to have as much information as to the enemy's whereabouts when you're dropping. This way you can more appropriately choose how to approach an enemy when you do get a gun and you're ready to fight. Secondly, in my opinion, you want to never land on a loot box. As you can see in this gauntlet drop video, I missed my fly a little bit at the end and I landed on that box and I opened it, and what did I get? No gun. This is so detrimental to your early game. If you land on a box and there's no gun, you're pretty much going to be screwed. Boxes in general do not have a lot of weapons in them compared to the amount of other loot you can get. And I say this because boxes can have pretty much anything in them, so the chances of you getting a good gun, in my opinion, are relatively low. This leads me to the fact that you should almost always try to land on floor loot. There's a couple benefits to landing on floor loot. One, you can see what gun it is you're landing on once you learn where the different floor loot spots are when you're flying in. And by doing this, you can tell right away what gun you're going to have even before you're hitting the ground. And once you play a little bit more, you will learn where all the floor loot can spawn, and you'll almost always know where a gun is going to spawn in each game, and this will greatly improve your chances at winning early game fights. Of course though, if your landing spot does not have that many enemies around, then really landing on boxes won't really matter that much, and then it's okay to do so. So that's pretty much it for dropping. I hope you guys enjoyed this video, and if you did, let me know in the comments below. Be sure to like and subscribe for the next video in the series, and hope you have a wonderful day and a great time gaming.